Please.
Oh, yes! 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 The time has come, and so have I. The ogres are here. Fuck my ass, what is happening? Give me access already. Goddamn, I cannot wait 3 months knowing that they're in. I mean, at least I get early access, and I can share my footage here. Like right now. I'm sat on some Warhammer 3 Ogre Kingdoms battle footage given to me and other content creators by CA. I have an Ogre Kingdoms land battle against Tzetch, a major siege on Cathay, and the one I'm weirdly the most hyped about, a minor settlement battle, defending an ogre settlement. I have some thoughts on them, but mostly I just want to show you guys some shit-hot unit roster footage and pick out the good bits. There's a few units missing that are confirmed to be in the game by the recruitment listings, and screenshots, or just confirmation from King Simone in the Total War Discord, like Iron Guts and Iron Blasters. There's also recruitable units shown on the building panel screen of the Ogre Campaign Mechanics blog that are missing from this roster, like the Hunter and the Butcher heroes, ogres with iron fists, I think 2 man-eater variants preceding the 2 we already know about that I'm assuming are single weapon, and a shielded or dual weapon variant, a couple of Mournfang and Rhinox variants, and a Stonehorn variant. Oh, and the biggest missing guy, Greasus, from Greasus Cart 4.
He's so cool.
I still don't know how I feel about this little cart, since it isn't the same as his lawful throne carried by a throng of Noblars, but he's absent from this, so we won't get to see him until later, I guess. So quickly before I talk about the roster, I just want to gush about the fucking maps. Warhammer 3 is shaping up to have some of the best looking maps of any of the titles so far. Seriously, look how fucking good they look. How they play, I don't know, but visually, fucking sheesh. First up is Noblars, the adorable little assistants to the ogres. Think goblins, but slightly smaller, bigger ears and nose, and scrappy as fuck. The basic infantry unit is what you'd expect, expendable, abundant, and weak. Massive unit size though, at 160 little guys per unit, which is fucking awesome. Then we have a little more interesting version, which I'm pretty hyped for. Dual weapons, stalk, ranged, but also melee hybrid trappers, with a damaging trap AoE ability that slows and reduces speed, and charge bonus. On top of that, they have stalk and vanguard deployment. They're essentially sneaky stabbers, but ranged and with traps. I kinda love them. If you really think about it, they could be a genuinely good Doom stack. Then you have your Ogre Bull basic infantry. Next we have Gorges. These are an interesting one, and if you haven't already, you should look up their lore. It's pretty fucking metal. Unbreakable, Stalk, Frenzy, Vanguard, and a Gorge tag for some Scrag related buffs I'll get into later. Suffice it to say that they'll make an insane Doom stack, or just an amazing flanking unit for your Ogre armies. Next is just the Man-Eaters and Man-Eater pistol mercs they put into Warhammer 2. This is one of my most anticipated units, the Lead Belchers. They're just ogres with handheld cannons that fire scrap. I've dreamed about making an army of these fellas for years. From what I've seen, their animations and sound effects are wild. Next we have the Saber-Tusk pack. Pretty much what you'd expect. Fast and damaging, great for flanking and tearing down ranged units and artillery. 70 weapon strength seems insane, but I guess I'll see how they perform when I get my hands on them. Oh, also they have Rampage, which could get annoying. Next is an interesting one. It's Mournfang Cavalry with Iron Fists. This pretty much confirms the third variant of Ogre Bulls, I think. No idea what Iron Fists actually do yet, but hopefully it's worth it. Next is Crusher Rhinox Cavalry with great weapons. Anti-large, but great weapons, which is interesting. Insane amounts of charge bonus, but who knows if cavalry will be good in Warhammer 3 anyway. Next is the ever-present Giant. I appreciate CA for making a unique model for every single Giant, but I don't know. It's a Giant. Next we have the Noblar Scrap Launcher. I love this model, it looks incredible. Also, it's nice to see more single entity artillery pieces instead of the usual set of 3. It has something called collision attacks, which hopefully it's good. Maybe it'll have some physical applications. I don't know. Next we have the big boy, the large stone-faced horny guy. Insane stats on this thing, incredible animations. Can't wait to see this thing on the field. Hopefully the guy on top with the crossbow doesn't suck, but judging by his range stats, it's looking pretty good. Next we have the Firebelly hero. Pretty hyped for this guy too. You'd never have guessed this, but I'm a pretty big fan of hero units, and this guy looks fun as hell. Good in melee, can literally breathe fire, has a mixture of new fire abilities and the original lore of fire. Next we have Scrag the Slaughterer, no relation to Azag the Slaughterer. I'm more hyped for this guy than I am for Steely Wheelie Automobile for a number of reasons. The number one contender for world's worst handjob, he's a pretty damn powerful melee lord, despite having access to the lore of the Maw too, which from what I can tell is lined up to be my favorite lore of magic. Buffs, heals, and insanely cool looking AoE spells. He gets regeneration for 9 seconds while casting a spell on the Blood Cauldron, literally hooked into his back, provides healing to all Gorges in the entire battle, and the effect increases for every kill Scrag gets. The buff caps at 20% weapon damage and armor piercing, but it still makes the Gorge Doom stack look like a bitchin' idea. I have some thoughts about some of the stuff I saw, like Gorges and pretty much every other large unit being able to destroy walls very easily. This is better than them being able to pull ladders out of their asses, but it's still a little scuffed that they can just slap down walls. I get it for the Giant and the Stonehorn, but for the Ogres, I don't know. Alright, so I'm just gonna throw in all of the best parts from the cinematic battles now. So in closing, you know I'm gonna do the Funny Doom stack thing, most likely with all of these units, but which ones do you want to see first? Personally, I'm leaning towards the Lead Belcher or Noblar Trapper Doom stack, especially with the unbreakable Noblar Tyrant title. Thanks for watching. Discord links are in the description and Patreon too. Remember to subscribe if you liked and blah 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 blah, etc. Goodbye.